All right, hey everybody, I am here in Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud, which is different from how we fill color in Creative or in Adobe CS6 or CS5. They're making it, I think, more consistently similar to Illustrator, so color fill is more complex. Now, okay, so say I want to choose a color. I'm using a monochromatic color palette. Say I want to use red, and I'm going to work on my low-key design. So I'm going to use maybe a darker shade of a color and make a rectangle. I'm just going to do a few to kind of, oops, I don't want that. I want the shape tool. Here we go. Okay, so I am going to draw my shape. Okay, and this is going to be kind of a darker value. Okay, so I have to click somewhere else. If I click somewhere else on the tool, it's going to, wherever I tapped it, if I say okay, it's going to draw that same shape. If I don't want that, I have to click another tool and then go back and re-click the shape tool, and then, okay, so I'm going to draw another shape. So I want this to be a little bit brighter, a different color. How do I get the color to change? I have to click the properties panel here, and then if I don't want to go with swatches because they're not consistently monochromatic, I click this color palette here, and it opens up my tool, and then say I want to make this one a little bit brighter so it pops forward a little bit. So I say, okay, now that shape is a little bit brighter. All right, now I've got to do the same thing and then go back to shape tool. Oops, nope, I've got to click elsewhere first. Then, okay, well, I guess it still activates it, but I can draw a shape over the top. I don't like that shape, I'm going to delete it. So let me just draw another shape. Okay, so here we go. I want to change this color. I'm going to click this square again in the properties panel. And if that's covering part of your composition, you can't see what you're doing. This is what I find annoying about the new layout. You've got to kind of move things around. See, I can't see my layers panel if this is blocking it. So I've got to use kind of like the whole screen. Well, I don't really, let me just, I want to see my layers panel. So I'm just going to leave it there for the moment. And where is the layers panel? Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay, here we go. I have to click this again, open this, and add a brighter color. Okay, so now I've got a brighter color. All right, so, oops, I don't want another one of that same size or shape, so stop, draw another shape. Let me make another big one kind of coming across my composition here. This is why I find the properties panel position to be annoying, especially when I am trying to record a video. So there's a big shape there. I want that to be maybe brighter. So again, bear with me while I move this around. Click that square, go into this, and I'm going to make that one even brighter. Okay, so but I've got to remember I'm in a low-key range for this design, so I'm going to lower that a little. It's brighter, but still in the intermediate to lower key range. It's a bright accent. Okay, and if I want to move that around, I can grab my move tool, move it up or down, overlap it a little bit differently. I can also click on the tool again, activate this shape, and oops, never mind that. Get my move tool again. Move that. I can hit Command T, change the rotation of it if I don't like the direction of it, or if I want to, make it a little bit more kind of dynamic in terms of, its position being at a diagonal. I kind of like that. Okay, so click on that, and I'm going to apply the transformation. So now I've got some, interesting things starting to happen. And, I can continue to draw shapes and, do whatever I like to create, my designs. Click that panel again, open that color again, and, I say I want to go for a really dark shade down here. Okay, that's my dark shade. And say I want to move that. Now I'm going to move the property panel, go into my layers panel here again, and see how this shape here, this is the shape that I'm in. If I want to put that behind this diagonal, I can actually drag that behind, okay? So now we have that, it's actually somewhat obscured by the shape that I'm in, the one that's overlapping, and I can move it around and reposition it, kind of like that. So I'm going to, get out of there. But, if if I want to go back and work on this color and change that color, move that one around a little bit, I have to activate that layer. So lots to do, and if you move things around so much that you can't remember where things are, you can always go to Window, it's a little bit outside of the screen, Workspace, and then you can reset Essentials and everything goes back to where it was. So if I want to then change all these colors for a a high key version, then I can save this for the web as a copy, but I'd actually like to go back into the background maybe and add a color fill in the background. So let me get a nice kind of muted, softer kind of tone of the red. I don't want it. There we go. That'll drop back in space a little bit. Okay, so that now I've got my background colored in, but I had to select that layer. Okay, so say I've got a design with rectangles and I want to save it for the web. I can go File, Save for Web, and then that will save a copy. Once I save that copy, I can then go and work on each one of these layers and change the color. And we'll change the color of that layer to a high key version of the U. Okay, let me get a nice bright, almost a tint, but a little bit of gray in the mix. That's a tone. Let me grab my bucket again. Okay, so now I've changed that. Then I can select each layer and why is it? Okay, there we go. Change the color I want. We're going into high key. I want that still to be dropped back a little bit in the background. So, okay, I like that one. Okay. Now I'm going to select this square because I want the same design. Oops, the shape must be rasterized. I don't really want to rasterize it. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I know I have to click somewhere else first. Okay, now let's access this shape. Okay, now I can get my move tool, access that layer, change that color. Is that working? No, that did not do what I wanted it to do. Wait, let me go back to where I was. Select this layer again. Oh, there we go. I see. I just select the layer to change the color. So moving it up into the higher key, but I still want that to be back in space a little bit. So I'm going to say okay to that. I'm going to go for this one, and then I just double click it. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the new CS, the differences between CS6 and a Creative Cloud. So, okay, now I can double click on this layer, and let's see how we want that one to change. Definitely want that to be brighter, but a little bit in the grayer. That's cool. Yeah, it looks too much like that one, so let me make that a little bit more intense, but a little bit more gray. No, I'm going to push it more towards the shade. Okay, then for this layer, click on this one. Now I want this one to be really bright, so double click this, and I'm going to push that one all the way up to maximum saturation and brightness. That really pops. I'm going to say okay, and now I'm kicking this into the high key range, and then I can save this for web, and then take the two designs and copy them. Another option that I could do would be to open my color palette for my, have my palette open from my previous week 1 assignment 2 exercise and use those colors as a guideline to help me select colors. But it's more going back and forth between the palette and the design, so it's up to you how you want to approach this. I hope this helps. I would continue to add some more shapes, make this a more complex design, but this is just a quick demo. All right, hope that helps everyone. Please let me know if you have any questions.